Good question. I think essentially I wanted to try and convey the humanity, you know, like a portrayal of a man who's consumed by ambition, by doubt, ultimately is kind of broken by the consequences of his actions. We sort of know the story of Macbeth, you know, it's about these evil tyrants, which is true to a certain extent, but you have to look at the reasons behind that, otherwise you're just painting a baddie. You're not just bad, you know, you can't just play bad, because human beings are complex things and they're not just one thing. So that was where I wanted to start with Macbeth and find like a three-dimensional, rounded human being. So you see a very sort of natural human being, albeit he is presented with the idea of the ultimate prize, and it comes down to what they are willing to do to go for the prize. Well, you always start with the text, and that gives you all your clues. What am I saying? What do I do? What does my wife say about me? You know, all these sort of like aspects that are in the play, that are there already. That's your kind of structure that you work from. And then together with the ideas that you bring forward about, you know, motivations and what I think's happening here. And the director obviously comes with a, you know, a concept, an idea, what he wants to convey. And there is no one right or definitive way to perform a character. You know, people have been performing Macbeth for 400 years. And that's another thing, you bring your life experience to it, you know, things that have happened to you that you can go, oh, I remember that feeling there, you know. Maybe not murder, but, you know. We read Macbeth when I was in English. Shakespeare's not a thing to be read, it's a thing to be spoken. And you really realise that once these words are in your mouth, because you have to really work. Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Rather than just saying, oh, I'm really stressed. What are you saying when you say that? Why is the character saying that? It's because they're in such a state of despair. They're near the end of their life. So they'd have nothing but, oh, help me, you know. It's just brilliant, and it has this kind of momentum, and it paints a picture for the audience. If you're clear, if you know what you're saying, then they will get it. They will get it. The daggers. So you've got the metaphorical dagger, you know, the dagger that he sees, the dagger of the mind. You've got the real daggers, which affect him in different ways. Physically, holding the daggers after he's done the deeds, they become a very big thing in the scene between him and Lady Macbeth, because obviously he brings them back, which wasn't part of the plan. So therefore he's kind of lost a bit of control, and Lady M has to take control, otherwise the whole thing's going to unravel. Because there is such muscularity and momentum with Shakespeare, when you're speaking it, you know, it can get big. And so I suppose one of the main things was trying to condense that, bring it right into the mind and really find the minute details of it all, but in a naturalistic way. That was one of the big jobs, was to really focus it down for the camera. Quite often you're told that less is more. Less is more is difficult with Shakespeare, especially when you're in such heightened states, you know.